Are you guys familiar with Howdie Mickoski's work? I like his book Exit the Cave. It touches on some really important concepts. The concept of karma and why it is BS. The idea that Earth is a school and why that is BS. The idea that we live in a world that was created by a benevolent being that put us here for our own good, and why that is BS. It references the TV series Westworld. If you haven't watched the TV series, please watch it. I've been recommending that TV series for years now. It talks about Plato's allegory of the cave. And why the story isn't really complete, because it doesn't tell us why the prisoners were put in that cave. Who put them in that cave? Why they were put in that cave? But basically, it's saying that it makes more sense to believe that we weren't put here for a good reason. And that's what I've been saying on this channel. So I recommend his book, Exit the Cave. Let's all agree that if you found yourself in a cave, you don't know why you are in that cave, you don't know who put you in that cave, you're suffering in that cave, you are in chains, you are chained in a way that makes it hard for you to look behind you. You're facing the world. Behind you there is a fire and people are passing between you and the fire, but you don't see these people. All you are seeing is their shadows. In your direct experience, the shadows are real. In your direct experience, you're not seeing shadows. You are seeing some creatures walking on the wall. That is what is true in your direct experience. You've never been told that there is such thing as a shadow. You've never been told that there's such thing as fire. There's such thing as a human. You don't know what you are. You don't even know that you are a prisoner. Can we all agree that if you found yourself in a place like that, it is logical to believe that you were not put there for a good reason? Like, that's a logical conclusion to make. That it will be illogical to believe that you were put there for a good reason. You were put there to learn. You were put there to grow. I mean, you've never been told why you were there. You're there in the first place. Can you imagine if you found yourself there with other prisoners and you were curious enough to try to free yourself, and you were finally able to free yourself, and you exited the cave and saw the real world? I mean, it wouldn't really be the real world, but of course it will be like a real world to you, because all you've been seeing was shadows your whole life. If you went back to the cave and told other prisoners that, hey, we are prisoners here, man, the real world is not like this, the real world is different, and you try to explain what you saw, they'll think you're crazy. Wouldn't that explain why when people become very conscious and they start seeing reality as it is, and they try to explain to normal people what is actually going on, these people think that they are crazy? Because they've never seen the other side. They've never seen the truth. When you look at this world, when you look at how it works, when you realize how much we don't know, you'd realize that this world isn't so different from Plato's cave. It isn't so different from Plato's cave. Because we don't know why we're here, for real. I always laugh when I say that we don't know why we're here, but because it's really funny that we exist and we don't know why we're here. And we've been here for many years, but we still have no clue why we're here. We've struggled a lot in the past. We fought a lot. Many people have been unalived because we don't know why we're here. You know how many holy wars have been fought? Because people don't know what the truth is. Like, hey, my God is real, your God isn't real, and they found themselves fighting because they don't know what the truth is. The whole thing seems like a setup, because what will human beings do? Yeah, you know how we are as people. But yeah, there have been so many holy wars that have been fought, but no one really explained to us what is actually going on. We suffer a lot. We don't know what reality is. Whenever we try to, wake people up after learning some shit, they think we're crazy. So we find ourselves suffering more for gaining more knowledge, for understanding things better. Can we all agree that it doesn't make sense to believe that we were put in a world like this for a good reason? No one is explaining to us what the heck is going on, bro. Understand how crazy that is. And people just live their lives as if they know what is going on. Isn't that funny? They don't want to ask questions. They want to pretend as if they know what is going on. They can see that a lot of things that are happening do not make sense. They can see that the amount of suffering that some people are going through is a lot. Innocent people suffer. Innocent people are being unalived. Wars are being fought for no good reason. People who are in power are the ones who are benefiting. People who are poor have to suffer, even though they don't want to find themselves in the mix. They don't want to fight. I think people want to be involved in wars. I don't think there are people who actually want to be involved in wars, bro. I think I mean, people just want to have fun, they just want to enjoy their lives, but hey, it's not like that in this realm. Yes, some of us are lucky to find ourselves living in places where there are no wars, but still we deal with our own problems. It doesn't really matter if you are very successful, you still have your own problems to deal with. Everyone suffers in this realm. So it would be good for people to actually know what the whole thing is about, other than, being kept in the dark. Can we all agree that us being kept in the dark is a bad thing? And that is a red flag. That should make us suspicious. That should make us ask ourselves why we are here, and if we are here for a good reason. Some people might say, hey man, look, there are books that have been written many years ago that tell us what is really going on here. The problem with these books is that they've been translated so many times. But also, really, if there were benevolent beings that wanted us to know the truth and that wanted us to be free, why would they use books that were written many, many years ago to speak to us, to speak to our generation? Why would they not try to speak to us in a way that we will understand, in a way that will make sense to us? It's much easier now for people in this world to communicate. It's easy for me to communicate with people who are in the UK. It's easy for me to communicate with people who are in Canada, people who are in the US, people who are in Nigeria. It's easy for me to communicate with anyone. So that means that really, if the beings that created this reality wanted us to know the truth, we would know the truth. But why are they not telling us what is going on? Why do they allow us to fight? Because some of us believe that we've found the truth. And there are some people who also believe that they found the truth. So we fight because of that. Why don't these beings show up and say, hey, stop fighting, you dumb animals. Here's the truth. Here's the truth. We put you here so that you will learn to love one another. Like, there are no clear instructions. There are no instructions. Actually, it's not that there are no clear instructions. There are no instructions. We don't know what we need to be doing. We don't know if we're supposed to be following the rules or if we're not supposed to be following the rules. We don't know if we're supposed to be good people or if we're supposed to be bad people. I mean, we live in a world where a lot of people who are selfish, who only care about their own needs, who seem to be thriving more than people who care about other people. So we don't really know what we're supposed to be doing. Are we supposed to be good people? Are we supposed to be bad people? Are we supposed to be selfish? Are we supposed to be selfless? Are we supposed to follow the rules? Are we supposed to just do our own thing? Are we supposed to worship some deity? Or we're supposed to believe in nothing? We don't know. We are all confused. That is the truth. The truth is that no one knows what they are doing. We're just walking around like zombies, and people are pretending to know what the heck is going on. Because people are full of shit, that. So some people are going to be like, hey, we know what's going on. Here's what's going on. Follow me and I will show you the light, They end up creating cults, some of them. Because people are blind. They don't know who to follow. They don't know who to trust. So they're like, hey, maybe this guy knows the truth. Oh, we've heard that this guy meditated for like 30 days. He didn't eat for 30 days. So that means that he really knows some things that we do not know. Hey, we've heard that this person died and came back to life. So they might know some things that we do not know. Hey, we've heard that this person is able to channel some aliens, so they might know some things that we do not know. But the truth is that we don't know what the heck is going on. And it is logical to think that we were not put here for a good reason. If you watch the series Westworld, you'd understand what I'm really saying. See, the robots in the series Westworld were put in a theme park. They don't know why they were put there. People will pay money to go into that theme park and treat those robots the way that they wanted to treat them. And some of them were sentient. They will unalive them and they'll be taken to the control room, and then they'll wipe off their memories completely. After wiping off their memories completely, they'll put them back, and they'll put them back into the theme park. Why? So that they'll have to go through the same thing again. But the reason why they will wipe off their memories is because of how they've been treated. Like the things that they've had to see. If they remembered the things that they've seen, of course they'll be traumatized because they were not being treated right, and they don't know why they're there. They've just been programmed to, perform certain tasks, and the outsiders, they were not able to harm the outsiders. They were not able to harm real people, but real people were able to harm them. So even if they get their hands on some weapons, they will not be able to harm, the people who will be abusing them. So you can see that they were not put in there for a good reason. Doesn't that kind of seem like this kind of a world where nothing is being explained to us, where there are some people with some superpowers who are able to do things that we can't even explain? I mean, really, even if you left me in this world for billions of years, I'll never be able to create this. I would never be able to create a microphone. I would never be able to create a camera. I would never be able to create the internet. I would never be able to create a cell phone. But some people are able to. Why are some people able to do some things that other people cannot do? Why are some people so limited, but some people are not limited? We need to ask ourselves questions. I'm not saying these people are the are coming from another world, and we are like NPCs or robots here, and they are here to just live their lives and enjoy their lives while we suffer because we were created here to just be their slaves. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying we need to be suspicious. We need to ask ourselves questions. We need to think right. In that series, it was possible to use technology to make these robots more intelligent than they are, give them skills that they do not have. When they'll create these robots, they'll have these machines that they will use to unlock their superpowers, to make them more intelligent or less intelligent. So one of these robots, after waking up in the control room, she used this machine to make herself super intelligent, so that you'll be able to do things that normal robots cannot do. Ask yourself why you can't do some things that other humans can do. It's a bit weird that some human beings can do things that normal human beings cannot do. Some human beings are so damn privileged, even if they cannot do things that even if they don't have special skills, even if they do not have superpowers, but still they're super privileged. Things just work out for them, but things don't work out for normal people. They just go through hell their whole lives. We need to ask ourselves what is really going on in this realm. Anything is possible at this point. I want you to understand that anything is possible because we've never been told what the truth is. So anything is possible. Right? If you live in a world where no one is explaining to you what is going on, you must realize that anything is possible. How do you know anything at all? What do you even know? So yeah, Plato's analogy of the cave is a very good allegory. It's a very, very good allegory. It makes people look at life in a different way. You mustn't just live your life as if you understand what this is. Like, hey, I'm just gonna reproduce, uh, yeah, raise my kids, tell them what I know, and that's it. Like, no, ask yourself questions. Ask yourself why you should reproduce. Ask yourself why you should live life the way that the people who came before you live life. Ask yourself why you should believe in a religion that you believe in. Ask yourself why you are the way that you are. Are you the way that you are because you that's exactly how you wanted to be, or you've been programmed to be the way that you are? Ask yourself what do you really know? What do you really understand? Who are you? What are you? These questions are really, really important. So yeah, Plato's allegory of the cave is very important. Um, it can like teach you how to think as a person. Remember what I've been telling you about the purpose of this channel. I said the purpose of this channel is to help you raise your vibration high enough to detach yourself from this reality so that you see things as they are. Is to help you step out of the box so that you see things as they are, so that you're no longer energetically tied to this realm. Because when you're energetically tied to this realm, you don't see things as they are. I've given you this example that, you know, when you're dating someone, even if that person is not really being good to you, even if that person doesn't really love you, even if that person has lots of red flags, you might not see the red flags, or you might choose to overlook the red flags. It's only after you guys have broken up and you have healed that you look back and be like, damn, I can't believe that I allowed this person to use me like that. I can't believe that I didn't see what was going on. I can't believe that I believed their lies. You see? Because you're no longer energetically tied to that person. So the purpose of this channel is to raise your vibration so that you are no longer tied to this matrix, and so that you see it for what it is. I remember in the book Exit the Cave, Mickoski said, before exiting the cave, you must understand what the cave really is. I'm just paraphrasing, but he said something like that. You must first understand what the cave really is. You must know how you are trapped in that cave, so that if after escaping you find yourself in another cave, you'd have enough knowledge to actually be able to escape that cave. So you shouldn't just be like, I'm just escaping, it's a cave. You know what I mean? Like, no, don't just escape like that. You know, take your time to learn. Try to figure out what is really, really going on. Try to figure out how things really work in this cave. Be patient. It is hard. It is hard. That is 100% true. You know, once you start to wake up and you see what is really going on, you see people doing things that really do not make sense. You see people believing things that really do not make sense. It is hard, I know, but be patient. Try to learn as much as possible so that even if you find yourself in another trap after exiting the cave, you'd know what to do. Because if you exit too soon, you might not learn what is necessary to help you free yourself. Would you find yourself in the next cage, and you might you might find yourself back, you know, like you might find yourself being put back in the original cave because you don't know how to escape. So it is very important that you learn as much as possible. Yeah, his book is very good, man. I recommend that book. I think there's a lot that people can learn. I feel like it summarizes what I talk about on this channel. Like there isn't anything that I actually disagree with. You know, it's I've spoken about everything that he talks about in that book, but it's more like a summary. It's not a very long book, so yeah, a person can really learn a lot. And what's really important is to learn how to think. Learn how to think, so that you will be able to see things as they really are. If they tell you that Earth is a school, ask yourself, how should a school be? You want to tell me that I'm in a school if I'm not learning anything? Ask yourself, how should a school be? We need to question that. A lot of people who believe in New Age spirituality will be like, oh, it is a school, it is a school, it is a school. Like, why do you say it's a school? Oh, you're saying it's a school because Basha is telling you that it's a school. You know, there's some channelers who are telling you, you know, that this is a school. The littlest Kenan told you that this is school. So you're like, hey, this is a school. Till Swan told you that this is a school. You're like, hey, this is a school. But ask yourself, if it was a school, would it be the way that it is? If it was a school, would you not be given instructions? I mean, any school, you are given instructions. You are told exactly what you need to do. You are told exactly what you need to learn. What are you actually learning if it's a school? A lot of people that I know are demoralized now. Like, people don't believe in love. Like, people don't even believe in love. People don't believe in marriage. People don't trust one another anymore. Like, if you posted on Facebook that trust no one, like if you posted that on Facebook, the post will get a lot of likes. If you posted that it's okay to be single, that post will get a lot of likes. If you posted that, hey man, as a man, don't chase women, don't give your life, don't waste your time with women, just, you know, work hard and make money, that post will get a lot of likes, because relationships are not even working in this realm. Like, things are not really working. People are just struggling, but we're resilient. So, you know what I mean, we keep on fighting. But us being resilient doesn't mean that things are working. Us being resilient doesn't mean that we're learning anything. Us being resilient doesn't mean that we're happy. Us being resilient doesn't mean that this is making sense. So how can we say this is a school? Of course it sounds good to say that this is a school. Of course it makes you feel good to believe that this is a school. But what have we seen that actually makes us believe that this is a school? I mean, doesn't the memory wipe tell you everything that you need to know? Just like I told you about the TV series Westworld. The reason for the memory wipe was so that the robots will forget all the traumas that they've had to go through, so that they will go through these traumas again. They weren't put there to learn anything. They were put there so that real humans will use them the way that they want to use them. So doesn't the memory wipe tell you everything? If this is a school, why are you not supposed to remember anything? Why is it not explained to you that, hey, you are really in a school? Even if, okay, they wipe off our memories completely, but there must be something that we know that makes us realize that we're in a school. And think about it, if this is a school, wouldn't you find yourself making the same mistakes that you've made in your previous life? And what are you really learning, really? Is it impossible for a soul to learn lessons by being told what it needs to learn, not necessarily having an experience, especially if it's going to be suffering, especially if it's going to feel alone, especially if it's going to feel like quitting? We have forever to learn. We're not supposed to be suffering while learning, right? Lesson after lesson, lesson after lesson. Like, no, it's supposed to be easy to learn. So doesn't it make more sense to not look at this as a school? Because people don't really seem to be learning anything, and the people who have a positive, what they call a positive mindset, are people who are ignorant. They don't know anything. You try to talk to them about what's going on, they don't know what is going on. Is that what we're here to learn to be ignorant? Because most people don't know anything. Most people don't even think. Most people don't even ask questions. They're just doing what human beings do. That's it. They don't ask questions. They behave like NPCs in a game, in a video game. NPCs in a video game ain't that sophisticated, you know. You can't like have a deep conversation with them. They've just been programmed to just say certain things, and that's it. Some people, when you're interacting with them, you really do feel like you are interacting with non-player characters. You're like, damn. So it really doesn't make sense to say this is a school. Some people might say, hey, karma. The mistakes that you make now, if you don't pay for your mistakes in this lifetime, you're going to pay for your mistakes in the next life. That doesn't make any sense, considering the fact that free will itself is an illusion. You know, people don't do the things that they do because they have free will. Like, it has to do with how they have experienced life. Like, I keep on telling you that we're a product of our genes, circumstances, and traditions. If I was born in America, I wouldn't be exactly as I am. I would have made different mistakes. Probably would have someone. No, just kidding. I was conscious the whole time, but I mean, I would have made different mistakes. You know, there are some things that I know now that I wouldn't know if I was born in Brooklyn. You know, maybe all I would know is how to survive. There are things that I would know if I was born in Brooklyn that I do not know now. So that means that really our experience is determine how we're going to be in life. Our knowledge determines how we're going to be in life. It doesn't matter what I know. If this was poison and I drank it before and I got sick, I will not be drinking it anymore because I know that it's poison. But imagine that if every day when I woke up I forgot everything, I'll find myself drinking it again. So knowledge is important. So that means that if this was a school, we would need to remember the lessons that we have learned in the past so that we will be better. You see? Can you imagine if we remember all the lessons that we've learned in the past? Like, if really we do reincarnate back here, dude, we'll be something else. Like, we'll be gods right now. We would know how to treat one another. We would know how to love one another. We would have figured a lot of things out. But when you come into this world, you're still a child. You're still a baby. You know nothing. And you get brainwashed by people who want to control you, because it's the people who are in power that actually tell us how we should be. And these people who are in power are interested in controlling us. They're interested in benefiting from us. They're not really interested in our own growth. Do you think that the people who are in power also want us to be powerful? They also want us to grow and be independent? No, they don't want us to be independent. They want to control us. They want to benefit from us. And these are the people who tell us how to be. These are the people who decide what children get to learn. These are the people who decide what information we get to have. I do believe that there is a lot of information that has been kept away from us. We're being treated like children, bro. I mean, yeah, we're children, but come on, shouldn't we know some things? If aliens exist, shouldn't we know that they exist? I mean, there's obviously some things that are being kept away from humanity. There are some places that humans are not supposed to go. Why? There are some people who know some secrets about this realm. They're not allowed to speak about these secrets. Why? We must ask questions. It is weird that people just want to do what they've been programmed to do without asking questions. It's about what we've been programmed to do. We've been programmed to reproduce. Don't even ask yourself why sex is so damn enjoyable. Why you get attracted to someone, why you love them. Attracted to attractive people. It seems like everything that is enjoyable is a trap. Howdie Mickoski also spoke about Robert Monroe's work. Robert Monroe had been, emphasized that people after exiting this realm, they shouldn't go to the white light. He emphasized that a lot. That's what I'm saying. It seems like everything that's kind of like enjoyable, so everything that's attractive is kind of like a trap. Because the white light is attractive. So you find yourself in the afterlife, and there's this white light, and you are being shown all the things that you want to see. You see your dead relatives, and you're like, hey, I need to go and talk to these people. In this realm, sex is so damn enjoyable. You have sex, boom, someone is born into this realm. It's, you know what I mean? Like, something is kind of like, if people were having children because they really wanted to have children, and I really mean they really wanted to have children, it wasn't even because of their feelings, like they feel lonely and they're like, hey, maybe if I had a child, you know what I mean, like they just want to have children and it makes sense, like they're having children for philosophical reasons. I'll be like, damn, that's good. But I don't think people are having children for, like a philosophical reason, or a very, like, they think deeply about having children. They just find themselves having a desire to have sex and raise and have a baby with the person that they love, and that's it. Like, it's just about desire. That's why I've been telling you that people don't have children for selfless reasons. They have children for selfish reasons. So that should make us suspicious. Why are we programmed that way? Why didn't we program to ask ourselves why we need to be having children, so that we only have children because we really want to have children and it makes sense to have children? When it comes to other important decisions, we have to think, and we actually have to work, and we actually have to suffer to make things happen. But to have children, we don't really have to suffer. We just have to be horny and find someone to try. I mean, we only gotta work to just attract a partner, and that's it. But really, that has to do with our desire. It's not. It's a bit different from like working to create something, like maybe creating a robot, something, or making music. It's not just about the final result. The whole process itself is like, it's like something is compelling you to reproduce, But when it comes to creating something, creating art, it's just you wanting to create art. It doesn't really have to do with desire, but it has to do with your own will. You tell yourself that I want to create art, or I want to make a great album, or I want to build something that a lot of people are going to admire. So we need to ask ourselves why some things that are actually important, we are just compelled to do these things. Like it has nothing to do with our own will. It's not us who actually want to do these things, but we're just compelled to do these things. So I think the very important concepts that Howdie Mickoski touches on his book Exit the Cave. It's important to ask the right questions. People don't ask the right questions. Those who are able to ask the right questions are being shamed. They are being made to feel like they are crazy. They are being made to feel like there's something wrong. So people mustn't be asking the right questions. People must just be doing what everyone else is doing. People must just behave like animals. They mustn't be deep thinkers. They mustn't ask themselves what is actually going on. They mustn't ask themselves what really, really makes sense. I think they should be intellectual honesty when we are dealing with reality. There must be intellectual honesty. We must ask ourselves what reality really is. We must ask ourselves what experience really is. We must ask ourselves what we are really doing. The truth is that everything counts. It's crazy that people don't take some things seriously enough. Like they take things for granted, things that are actually important. They take these things for granted. You take for granted the fact that you don't know anything. Like you can't take that for granted. You must know. You do deserve to know. We do live in a world where a lot of people are suffering, where a lot of people have no understanding of what's going on, where a lot of people believe lies, where a lot of people are being fooled. You know how easy it is to fool people? It seems to me that people believe lies more than they believe truth. Like if you're gonna tell people the truth, the real truth, they're gonna look at you like you're crazy. And what do I mean by the real truth? I mean, like, if you're going to be honest about everything, they're going to look at you like you're crazy. Like, honesty isn't appreciated in this reality. That's why people are free to express themselves. But if you're going to lie, if you're going to lie, people are going to love you. Like, that's one of the biggest reasons why professional wrestling is very popular, and it's been popular for years. It's because people don't really care about what is real. Like, it doesn't really matter if what these guys like, the storylines are true. As long as these guys are entertaining them, they are happy. Like, they don't really care about the truth. They care about being entertained. I remember I came across a video on TikTok of this other lady talking about that toxic handsome guy who lies to you repeatedly, but whenever you're with him you feel good. Like, so it doesn't really matter. Like, if you call him and he doesn't pick up the whole day, and then he calls you the next day and like, babes, I'm sorry, I was busy with work, blah blah blah. He's lying, but there's something that, you know what I mean. So it's kind of like that. This reminds me of what Sci first said in the Matrix. Like, it doesn't, like, he knows, like, I think he was eating a steak or something when he sold out Morpheus. He was eating a steak and he was sitting with Agent Smith, and he was like, I know this steak is not real, but it tastes like it's real, so it tastes good. So that's what matters. Like, what matters is that it tastes good. The real food doesn't taste good, so why shouldn't I live in the Matrix? Isn't it better to live in the Matrix if I'm going to be happy in the Matrix, if I'm going to enjoy my life in the Matrix? Why should I live in the real world if I'm going to be miserable in the real world? So that's why a lot of people don't want the truth. That's why a lot of people believe lies. That's why a lot of people hate those who speak the truth. They ask themselves what they are going to benefit from the lies, because the lies do not make them feel good, and that is the problem. So that explains why a lot of people who speak the truth are hated. That explains why a lot of people who speak the truth are being looked at as if there is something wrong with them. So it is important to learn how to think. It is important to learn how to question reality. It is important to learn how to operate outside of our programming. Right, that is really, really important, because most people do what they've been programmed to do. They don't know how to operate outside their programming. They don't know how to think original thoughts. Like, how many people can think original thoughts? How many people can have deep conversations about reality? How many people can question things? How many people feel like questioning things isn't a bad thing? I mean, we live in a world where we're being told that questioning things is a bad thing. Most people in this world are religious. They've been teaching their children that questioning things is wrong, because they are religious. Like, hey, if you question things, you might end up in hell. If you question things, you might end up being depressed. If you question things, you might end up being homeless, because you're not gonna do what needs to be done. So you mustn't question anything. You must just try. You must sell your soul for candy. Even if you're being made to do things that don't make sense, you must do these things. So that's like you selling your soul for candy. What I think is important for us to do is, ask the right questions. Um, Try to figure out what is really going on. Try to learn as much as we can. Try to prepare ourselves for what's to come. Like, that is what's more important than, people waking up in the morning and doing the same things every day. That's what's more important than having fun. That's what's more important than doing what everyone else is doing. We need to truly understand what is up. It really does matter, and I think people who are doing the kind of work that I'm doing are very close to the truth. And some of us might have found the truth, but of course, you can never know for sure. But I think if you do the kind of work that we do, you that you are doing the right thing, other than just doing what everyone else is doing. When I started recording this video, I've asked you a very important question: that if you found yourself in a cave, you don't know who put you in that cave, and you were suffering and nothing was making sense, it will be important to ask yourself questions. And it will make sense to believe that you were put there for a bad reason, other than thinking that you were put there for a good reason and you must just have fun and yeah. Just just behave like like an animal. Like, it will make sense to ask questions. It will make sense to think that you might have not been put there for a good reason, especially if you're suffering. And even if you were put there for a good reason, the fact that you're suffering should be a red flag. Should make you ask yourself if what is happening for your own good, because suffering only tells us that something is not right. If I hit my hand like this, I would feel pain, right? That tells me that something isn't right. That's suffering. Suffering tells us that something is wrong. So if we find ourselves suffering, then we must ask ourselves why we are suffering, than to just accept our suffering as something that is good, as something that is necessary, and even try to justify our suffering. Like, religious people have been programmed to justify their suffering for some reason. Like, they have an excuse for everything. Like, they'll make excuses for God, because they believe in God. Because when they tell us about God, we ask them, hey, what about the problem of suffering? Like, hey, we're suffering because of the devil. It's not God who's making people suffer. But why doesn't he help us? Why doesn't he try to defeat the devil so that things will make sense? No, he wants us to choose him. Hey, why is he hiding if he wants us to choose him? Why should I choose someone who's hiding from me, who's not communicating with me, who's not showing up for me, who's not answering my prayers, who's not proving their existence to me? You see? They say, no, he just wants you to have faith. Like, nah, man, that's just excuses. Why does he want me to have faith? Why is faith so important to him? Maybe he can't really help me, so he just wants me to have faith in him. He can't save me, but he wants me to have faith in him. Oh, he's not that powerful. He only is powerful when I believe in him. Ever communicated with someone who believes in some deity? it kind of feels like they are lost, like they're no longer themselves. It's like they've sold their soul to that deity that they believe in. So it kind of feels like that, like when you communicate with people who are religious. So maybe believing in these gods is just us selling our souls. I mean, think about it. Why should you believe in some deity that you don't even understand? What if that deity is going to trap you? Maybe there isn't any deity that can do something to you without your consent. And we are being told these lies so that we'll believe in these deities. Because if they're not hiding from us, we're going to ask them questions. And when we ask them questions, because we'll be asking them good, like real questions, they will not be able to answer these questions, and we'll realize that they're full of shit. So they have to hide from us and just rely on the people that already believe in them to spread their messages. So if we decide that we believe in them and we follow them, we'll be selling our souls to them, and they'll be able to trap us in another matrix. So maybe it's better to just believe in nothing, and just search for the truth, and yeah, see what really makes sense. Thank you, guys.